The New Albany Company is an outstanding example of a Rockefeller shell corporation. These usually come in bundles, usually with an alias, one offshore, one onshore. But Schwartz, Kelm, Warren, and Rubenstein. Warren, as in the Warren Commission. 41 South High is Huntington, Rubenstein, Ruby, Jack Ruby. The New Albany Company at 5906. What is the New Albany Company established to do? Well, the general partners are listed as Rocky Fork Development Corporation and Community Projects, Inc. Community Projects, Inc. is incorporated by Los Wexner. Got that? But this is a business incorporated by two businesses. Now it's New Albany Property, Inc. Replacing Rocky Fork. New Albany Property, Inc. Who's that? That's Jeffrey Epstein. So now we're Les Wexner and Jeffrey Epstein as of 1997, July. Right? Got that? New Albany Company. And this looks like it's another New Albany Company being set up with the same entities just to replace the other one, which is canceled. Got it? It's the way they roll. All right, keep going. There's a limited partnership. W.W. Vaughn 3. W.W. Vaughn 3. N.A. Property. So Jeffrey Smith and Jeffrey Smith. W.W. Vaughn 3. Jeffrey Smith. WWV. WWV3. And then this one. See how there's two? And then this one merges, but the other one's just canceled. It's the way they liquidate assets offshore often. Orange Street, Wilmington. Same entities. That's how they roll. G-Feather. And this is Vorey, Sater, and Peace, merging the New Albany Company LLC with the New Albany Company. No. Merger of the New Albany Company Limited Partnership into the New Albany Company LLC. Limited partnerships and LLCs don't go together. I love when they set them up with expiration dates. It was kind of the first form of AI, if you will, automatically intelligently folding. The New Albany Company LLC at a P.O. Box. Limited liability partnership backdated to 1997. It's in 2001. New Albany Company. Dinger. Lisa Dinger. Okay. This looks like it's going to be the same as that other one. Right? Because it merges. See how it's like merging them all? Jeffrey Epstein, Leslie Wexner. What if that's Jeffrey Smith? Wonder if Jeffrey Smith is Jeffrey Wexner. Or Jeffrey Epstein. Yep. Just merging them all together. 2007 is just as he's getting arrested. Just a reminder, everybody. Just as Jeffrey Epstein is getting arrested. 2007. Agent Services Division is a bulk agent change. Just as he's getting arrested. Just as he's getting arrested, okay? What do we got here? We got W.W. Williams, Duke Energy, Ohio, Alice Chalmers, United Funds, WellPoint, Nationwide Services Company, Gates McDonald and Company, Beneficial Management Corporation, Nationwide Corporation. It's extremely important right there, because Nationwide Corporation was a fake entity in the 1960s and 1920s, incorporated to assume the identity of the Ohio Farm Bureau, aka Farmers Insurance. So all of these Nationwide Foundation, All of these entities that are affiliated with Jeffrey Epstein's New Albany Company, Nationwide Securities, Koch Corporation, that's KOCH, all of these, Altman Production, Altman absorbs the Dunlap Hospital. These are literally set up for the sole purpose of liquidating assets from historic trusts and legitimate corporations. Foundations, actually. What are they doing and what are they targeting? Used Group, as in Howard. They're targeting coal, oil, gas, but also grain and farmland. And then American insurance, because there's nothing more profitable than assuming insurance companies, like massive nationwide retirement solutions. There's nothing like assuming massive insurance companies just directly before a terrorist attack. I mean, nothing pays out better. There's no return on investment better than taking out newly backdated terrorism policies on buildings that you don't even own. I mean, that's just brilliant. So here's all these trademarks being filed, all these fake trademarks, rolling them up. But it's that bundle, and it's Nationwide Asset Management. It's a separate company that is created specifically for Jeffrey Epstein in conjunction with the Florida Science Corporation. Just as he's getting a reprieve to get out of jail for 12 hours a day. That's right, just as he's getting arrested. 2007, this guy is busy. He's busy. What is he busy doing? He's busy liquidating the remaining assets that had yet to transfer from the Nationwide Foundation and Nationwide Separate Account Trust. Yeah, they actually separate Nationwide trusts. What's this? Just out of 9/11 that are then withdrawn. Oh, sorry, right here. Business trust, right here. So Nationwide Asset Allocation Trust. These are both filed in November of 1997, backdated to 81, as if these trusts were established in 81 when they're clearly established in 1997. And again, they're withdrawn right after 9/11. So Thomas J. Kerr, there's a Richard Kerr, who was the head of CIA. He's definitely involved, and Kerr is all throughout the plot. But this is Nationwide Separate Account, established in 97, with a fake false document ID. See, that should say 19, or one, yeah, it should say 19 in the front. But then backdated to June 30th of 1981. 3 Nationwide Plaza is a fake address that's used on a lot of these entities as they're transferring assets, securities, and trademarks. Don't forget about those trademarks. See right here? See, established in 81, amended, right? So we'd love to see those filings between 81 and 97. That'd be awesome. Because they don't exist. And then the withdrawal. The other withdrawal is immediately after 9/11. See? Boom. This is right after Epstein's, he claims his dad died in Ohio in December, but it's 91. So 200 years. Or 220. Same as Robert Maxwell. That's why Epstein's power of attorney is recorded in 99, backdated to 91. Yep. This foundation was another fake entity that was used in the 60s solely to liquidate assets and farmers' securities. I mean, how many times you need to be shut down only to be brought back as a shell corporation benefiting offshore adversaries. Yep. In the wake of a terrorist attack. The business plot centered around hijacking the Ohio Farm Bureau, and they basically separate the mineral rights of every farm title and every landmark mill and farm that had been titled to these entities, and then they pay people out. They call them farm credits or energy farm credits. So this has been a century-long plot that really kind of took a much more sinister turn ahead of 9/11, thanks to Jeffrey Epstein and several people working for Mossad to benefit Israel as part of this. In fact, there's a development corporation for Israel that morphs from the Bella Wexner Foundation. Yeah. Let's check it out. There they are. Yep, they brought them back from the late 50s when the plan was in motion back then. Yep. What were they doing, and why can't we look at the records? They're paying Israel. And Israel set this back-end integration up for Jeffrey Epstein and the Energy Task Force, reinstating all of these entities from the past, many of them having been federally canceled. Federally canceled for what? Funding Hitler? They bring back Prescott Bush's Union Bank and Trust. These guys, Bush, Big Papi, and Little G had no qualms about attacking our country. So long as it put money in their pockets. I mean, AIG, every one of these. Aon, we got Enron, we got First Energy. First Energy is actually NAPCO, people. These are fake entities that were set up solely to defraud the United States, liquidate the Federal Reserve, and between 2000 and 2008, George Bush, thanks to Big Papi's efforts, and of course Cheney, 42% of the U.S. economy, so it's well on its way. I mean, our government is shut down, and this is why. If we transfer 100% of our oil, gas, and coal to China, the UK, Israel, and Russia on the back end, what do you expect? When we look up WWV3, that's William Vaughn, who's all over the Epstein files, and right here is recording the general warranty deed in lieu of Epstein, 1996. But anyways, he, among all of these different jobs that he has, United States presidential campaign, Brad Carson for Senate, United States Senate campaign, looks like, I don't know if that's a lobbyist or what, and then the office of Senator William Nelson. But then Landmark Land Company, he's the head of counsel at Landmark Land Company. Well, Landmark was established by this guy. His name was George H. Dunlap. He was the face of the Farm Bureau, longtime face of the Farm Bureau, out of Harrison County, which is what Farm Bureau was, founded. He was the first CEO of Nationwide and chairman over all Nationwide and Farm Bureau companies for 25 years. Founder of Landmark. And I can attest that this guy, the last people on the planet he would ever make power of attorney over his businesses and trademarks, including Nationwide, would be Jeffrey Epstein and Leslie Wexner. No chance in hell. I know it for a fact. Yes, and so in 1998, Jeffrey Epstein becomes the power of attorney using a fake alias along with this guy, Mark C. Stewart, of Shoemaker, Loop, and Kendrick Shoemaker, and whatever. They merged Landmark with the Farm Bureau, and they recorded all of these private drilling partnerships. Nationwide won. Again, we have AIGs of Hot Oil, Cheney International, a.k.a. Halliburton. Almirada Hess from the 60s, bringing it back, or 40s. United Airlines, why not manipulate transportation? Development capital for Israel, which you already saw. I love terror funds. When we look it up, it's truly terrorist funds. Mega Oil, the mega group of Ohio. Yep. When we look at this, it's not every politician. Most politicians probably took a bribe at some point. But it takes a special type of politician to truly come into office with the intent to defraud the country, defraud the United States. And that's exactly what Big Papi and George Bush Jr., little G, G of a feather. Yeah, that's what they did. So starting in 2001, Jeffrey Epstein truly has forwarded at least 50, it was 91 mills and farms titled to Landmark Inc., just Landmark Inc. But he brings back the American Farm Bureau as of April 30th, 2001. Well, they're a part of the Energy Task Force that launches in January. So their trademark isn't even active yet, and it's Jeffrey Justice, one of many aliases that this guy uses while he was in the United States. It wasn't just the Farm Bureau. This truly was the target. The drilling, patents, permits, and leases relating to the Texas company have been the target of Standard Oil since 1916. Well, they backdate BS and completely wipe him off the map. This was the plot from the 1960s. It was the plot from the 1920s led by Joe Kennedy. It's Churchill's plot with the Windsors on board. That's the river pipeline. And that's Wexner's farm. They call it the farms for a reason, because it was the farms. It was the most significant farms in all of Ohio.